Good evening and welcome to Bismarck United Church of Christ during our midweek worship. It is such a pleasure and blessing to gather with you and to gather together as God's people across space and across time. Take a deep breath and let it out and let yourself be fully present. Whatever the first half of the week has brought, let it go. And let yourself be re-grounded in God's love. Reignite that spark within you and look out beyond who you are. Tonight, we're going to look even further beyond just our local community to out where the weather today was a high of 87. Doesn't it sound wonderful? Our high here in Bismarck today is 36. So imagine 87 degrees, sunny out, beautiful, and we are going to go there tonight to one of our mission partners in Ghana. And one of our mission partners, Debbie Colvin, is serving at a hospital in Ghana, and she's going to be sharing a little bit about what the hospital where she's working, what it looks like in Ghana, and what type of work they do. And she'll be sharing with us during this time in COVID as well. What does some of that look like even over in Ghana as we are experiencing this global pandemic together? But first, we have a scripture reading tonight, and tonight's scripture is the verse that Debbie says is one of the verses that guides her ministry in Ghana. And so hear this verse. It's from James chapter 2, verses 14 to 18. Hear these words. I'm reading from the Inclusive Bible this evening. My sisters and brothers, what good is it to profess faith without practicing it? Such faith has no power to save. If any are in need of clothes and have no food to live on, and one of you says to them, "Goodbye and good luck," stay warm and well fed, without giving them the bare necessities of life, then what good is this? So it is with faith. If good deeds don't go with it, faith is dead. Some of you will say that you have faith, while I have deeds. Fine. I'll prove to you that I have faith by showing you my good deeds. Now you prove to me that you have faith, without any good deeds to show. Here ends our reading. We are reminded in our theology and in our scriptures that good deeds are not a requirement of faith, not a requirement of God's love, for God's grace is poured upon us without any good deeds. God's love is poured out upon us just by being children of God without any deeds to go with it. But what is faith really if it doesn't transform our lives? Because that is one of the main pieces of God's love, is that it is life transforming. That God's grace opens us up in new ways to love one another, love our neighbors who live right next door to us, love our neighbors who live in Ghana, love our neighbors who live in East Timor, love our neighbors who live in Mexico, as we heard from our mission partner last week. And to keep loving them and being transformed through our care for each other. Faith changes who we are. Faith makes us live even further into that image of God. And the way that we live is how we show our faith to others. It's how we teach others about our faith, through the work of our hands, through the way that we go through our lives, through the ways that we speak to one another and engage with each other. It is the model that shows others this powerful, transformative love of God. So can there be faith without any good deeds? What would that even look like? For what is faith when it doesn't transform our very lives? What is faith when it doesn't help us to live in new ways? For all about the gospel, it leads up to all these stories that speak of the kingdom of heaven, these stories that call to us again and again. These stories lead to the resurrection. This story, this powerful truth about how death is never the final word, about how there is always new life, and that life transforms us. It transforms us in our local context. It transforms us at the state level. It transforms us in our nations. It transforms us in our continents, and it transforms us across the globe as we share in partnership with each other. This United Church of Christ gathers together with other United Church of Christ and other churches of other denominations to support mission partners all over the world. And those mission partners, they can transform us too, just as we transform their lives in the work that they do. For it's always a multiple-way street between partnerships. And so one of those places, through our church's wider ministries that we support, and through One Great Hour of Sharing that we support as well, is this mission partnership in Ghana as well. So I invite you to hear from Debbie tonight and to get to see a little bit about a glimpse of some of the work in Ghana.
Hello, this is Debbie Colvin, mission co-worker with Global Ministries, serving in Peki, Ghana, Africa, with the Evangelical Presbyterian Church, Ghana. This morning I'm on my way to work at the Peki Government Hospital in Peki, and I will show you some of the highlights of the hospital. As you can see down the hallway here, to our left is the waiting area for the patients when I want to be seen by physician. Here on the left are physicians' rooms. On the other side of this is the laboratory and the x-ray. Straight ahead is the mail ward. In the mail ward they have a 10-bed medical unit, a 10-bed surgical unit, and an ICU unit. To your right, our theater. The theater is what we call in the United States surgical. There's 2 entrances into the surgical room, and they have 2 surgery suites. Down further from there is the laundry facility, and all of these outlying buildings here are housing for staff. I am leaving work now, and this is the road that leads up to the hospital. And here on the right are some traders that are along the road. This is basically how your shopping, where your shopping is done in Peki. They have anywhere from fruits, vegetables, oils, water, bread, pots and pans, clothing, but these are all along the ways on the road to and from work.
We thank Debbie for her story this night and for showing us the people of Ghana and one of the hospitals over there. And I thank you. I thank you for being willing to jump into your faith and be transformed by it. There is never a time in our lives when we are no longer being transformed by God's love. Sometimes we can get stuck and we don't want God's love to transform us anymore. We don't want to be in those partnerships with others, but God's love keeps prodding at us, keeps reaching out to us, keeps asking us to look beyond ourselves and be transformed within community with one another. To be transformed even when we can't touch each other. To be transformed even when we're not in the same space with each other. To be transformed across continents, even when we don't see each other. And to let this transformation be a sign of our faith, a sign of God's ever-present love in the world. May you keep growing into that. May you keep seeking out stories and places where you may be in relationship with others. Others who look different than you. Others who hold different beliefs than you. Others who may be the next transforming force in your life and may give you a new glimpse of God's love at work in the world. As you go about this evening, may you go in peace. May you have rest, and may you be blessed, and may you be a blessing to others.
Breathe on me, breath of God, fill me with life anew.